Whenever we talk about exhaust service, I normally think about exhaust pipes and mufflers, the things that you can see sticking out of the car.
Sure. And if you can see smoke or if it's too loud.
Exactly. But exhaust service is really a lot more comprehensive these days. For example, in the U.S., the federal government mandated catalytic converters in 1976 and onboard emission control computers in 1990. State and federal emissions requirements have forced manufacturers to come up with much more sophisticated ways to comply with environmental regulations. And the cars sold in Canada follow the same guidelines.
So, exhaust service has really become exhaust and emissions service. And high-tech computer-controlled emissions devices are now a big part of that. And because it's so sophisticated, your vehicle manufacturer recommends having your emissions system checked out by a qualified technician regularly to make sure everything's working right, which is usually every 6 months or 6,000 miles.
Geez, and I have to check my personal computer more often than that. And if your engine check light comes on, especially if it's flashing, then you need to get your car looked at right away, because chances are it's an emission-related problem. You might have exhaust or emissions trouble if your car is hard to start, runs rough, or if it's noisy or smoking.
And you don't want to fill up your garage with smoke. Okay, so let's review the exhaust system with the help of some nice pictures. Everything starts with the exhaust manifold. That's the part that attaches to the engine and collects the exhaust from the cylinders and directs it into the exhaust pipe.
Yes, and the exhaust gaskets help seal the connection with the manifold and other joints along the way. Now, if the manifold is cracked or loose or a gasket is leaking, then dangerous gases could escape into the passenger compartment where you ride, which is scary.
Yes, it is, because carbon monoxide can be deadly. So it's important that your exhaust system doesn't leak. The exhaust pipes connect the various components. They can rust or be damaged by a rock, so they need to be inspected periodically.
All right, next comes the catalytic converter. This part actually looks like a muffler. It changes chemicals that are dangerous to your health and to the environment into harmless carbon dioxide and water. Now, it doesn't require any maintenance itself, but eventually they wear out. You'll probably find this out when your car fails an emissions inspection.
Ooh, yeah, I've had that happen. Yeah. Okay, now the muffler. Its main job is to quiet engine noises. Mufflers work by either absorbing or baffling sound, and you can actually customize your car's sound with different mufflers, which is pretty cool because you can change the look of your car and the way it sounds.
Don't you love the way cartoons and toys show some of those with sticking above the car and huge flames coming out? Okay, but rusted or road damaged mufflers can actually leak and they need to be replaced right away. Now, the exhaust system is attached to the car by a series of hangers and clamps that hold the system in place. And when these hangers come loose or break, then hot exhaust components can touch and melt wires, hoses, and lines. And you just think of the damage a hot curling iron can do, but way worse.
Ooh, yeah, not good to have that waving around. And finally, we end at the tailpipe, appropriate name. This is the final outlet for the exhaust. One other component is the oxygen sensor. It monitors the oxygen content of the exhaust, so the engine control computer can adjust the fuel-to-air mix to keep the car running right.
Well, we hope this discussion hasn't been too exhausting, but these things impact everything from life and death safety, from exhaust leaks, to just fine-tuning the sound of your ride.
And talk with your service advisor if you feel you need any of these items inspected on your vehicle, because a quick look can sure save a lot of pain down the road. Thanks for watching. We'll be back.